Zoe Thompson. So Zoe's a graduate officer for youth empowerment and participation for the Shetland Islands Council. So her work focuses on the youth voice and ensuring that young people are heard across Shetland. And that's done through various groups like the Shetland Youth Voice, Shetland Eco Activists, and MSYPs in Shetland as well. So yeah, Zoe works with young people across Shetland and helps them kind of follow their passions and create change in their local areas. So we're really excited to hear what you have to say. I'm just gonna share my screen again with the slides. One second. There we go. Is that okay for you, Zoe?
Cool, perfect. Well, hello everyone. So in my role as the Youth Empowerment and Participant Officer for Shetland Islands Council, it seemed natural for me to start actively seeking young people who are passionate about tackling climate change and forming a group. If you could change the slide for that. So this coincided with Young Scots recruitment for COP26 local champions. So these are three of the members of our group here. So we've got Laura, Madison and Gracie up on the screen there. So this meant that we were able to recruit a group of young people to work on the legacy of COP26 in Shetland. And a number of these local champions have now decided to stay on and become Shetland Eco Activists, or C for short. If you could change the slide again, please. When the group originally formed, they were given money from the Scottish Government to ensure that the COP26 legacy in their local area. This group decided to use the money to hold a pop-up shop, and the aim of the shop is to provide young people with eco-friendly and zero-waste products to make their everyday lives more environmentally friendly. Everything in the shop will be free, and some of the items they have bought are tote bags with their logo on them, reusable face pads, bamboo toothbrushes, flower seed bombs, and branded water bottles. They're hoping to reach as many young people as possible, and so have bought enough for over 100 individuals. Young people can come from all over the island and take whatever they want and what they think will be of most use to them. For example, young people might choose just to take a reusable cutlery set so that they can take it with them to work or school to replace any plastic cutlery. The Shetland Eco Activists have also made an assertive effort to ensure the products are both eco and fun, with many bright and cheery colour options available. During the pop-up shop, the group is also planning to have 2 workshops for people to sign up to. These workshops will be Climate Change 101 and Vegan Cooking. Both these events will focus on demonstrating the power of small actions accumulating to big change. If you can change the slide, please. Island life can mean that we're unable to access these items in local shops, and as a result, the groups had to order everything online. And yes, this has meant that there was a considerable amount of plastic and cardboard packaging. However, fear not that the group have decided to get creative and design art from the shipping material. This will be displayed in various places throughout Shetland. Their original idea is to make a beach out of plastic, rather than plastic making the beach, which is how some of our beaches sadly look. These are some examples of some of the art that we've done already. We've got our logo up in the corner, and also we found a big box of wool, so they decided to start knitting. And that being a very Shetland activity, we're hoping to do some kind of intergenerational project with knit as well. I think it's really important that young people get involved in these types of projects in their local areas, as it can create change for them where they are. Decision makers often attend these events, so being there yourself and spreading the word about your passions and wants is a key to sparking that change. You don't have to make speeches and take leadership roles if you don't want to, but just being involved can be enough. I'm now going to show you one of our Shetland Eco Activist members, Laura, reading out a story that she wrote a few months ago for a COI event with the Commissioner for Children and Young People. This story is written from a perspective of a girl living in Shetland and how climate change impacts her and her friends' everyday lives. The video should be on the next slide.
Hello, I'm Laura and I'm living in Shetland. This is a story that I've written from the perspective of a young young person in Shetland. I'm just your average 16-year-old girl living in Shetland, and I'm going to tell you about my home. I live in the mainland, right in the centre of Lerwick. My closest shop is Tesco, where we get all of our food. However, sometimes the food lorries can't get to the boat in time. Because there's so many cars in Aberdeen, they can get caught in traffic and we don't have the food we want. I wish less people drove everywhere. Also, sometimes the boat doesn't go due to bad weather, then we can't get any food for the shops. I remember last Christmas, Mum was so stressed because the boat got cancelled right before Christmas Day. Thankfully, the only shipment that didn't come was bread, and we could live without. I get a bit worried that with the climate getting more extreme, that more and more boats will get cancelled due to bad weather. The only way out of Shetland is by boat or plane, and the plane gets cancelled more often than the boat. I hope my holidays don't get ruined. I can't complain though. Although the increasing weather issues are a bit of a nuisance for me, I feel even worse for my friends in the hostel. My friend from Ferrell only gets home every 3 weeks. She sometimes gets sad when the travel gets cancelled because then she won't get to see her family for 6 weeks and she really misses them. Why is this? Well, on Shetland, if you live on some of the remote islands, we live in a hostel to go to school. When the weather is bad and the boats are cancelled, we don't get to go home and see our parents or family or friends, sometimes for months, which is quite hard. In my free time, I love going to visit all of Shetland's beaches. My favourite is Spiggy. When I was little, my granny used to take me there all the time. Last time I was there, I saw so much plastic washed up on the sea. There is even some with dead animals caught in it. I think people forget that the rubbish they throw in the sea washes up somewhere, and some pretty girl or boy might have to find it with their granny. These things really stick in my mind. I hope when I'm older, I will be able to show these beaches to my grandchildren, without the rubbish and without the dead animals. But that probably won't get to happen. My favourite animal is a taminori, or puffin. I just love them. They're so cute with their flappy pretty wings. We used to see hundreds of them flying around. Not as much anymore. Mom tells me that they are slowly dying out with how little fish there is left in the sea, and that since there's so much plastic there instead. I really hope they don't go extinct. My dad's a fisherman, and he seems to be stressed recently with seeing the news. Apparently, with the way the world is going, we're going to have no fish left in the sea by 2048. I really hope he doesn't lose his job, but with overfishing, it's inevitable. That's like a lot of my friends' parents. When I talk about the fish, I'm also talking about an entire community of great people, my home, our source of income, and something that my dad loves doing, all at risk. But hopefully with the new renewables, then we can get new jobs in Shetland. Mum works too, but she works in the knitting. She makes beautiful Fair Isle gansies. She hasn't gotten much business recently because her work relies on tourism. I guess COVID-19 can be blamed for that. I find myself worrying that if Shetland keeps getting harder to get into and out of, maybe tourists won't come anymore and Mum won't sell anything. I worry about the climate lots. It makes me sad to think about all the animals dying. We are learning about it at school. And I just wish that everyone would start looking after our Earth a bit more. Apparently, we only have 7 years left until it's irreversible. How scary is that? In Shetland, we see climate change every day, and we are impacted by it every day. From seeing rubbish and dead animals wash up on our beaches to the increasing adverse weather, we are witnessing climate change firsthand. The good news is we can change that. We can do something today. We can be different. Thank you.
This story has been really powerful in showing how climate change can impact people's everyday lives. When I was working with Laura on her story, I was shocked at how many things in her life have been affected. And hearing about the school hostel and the young people being unable to get home for some weeks broke my heart. This story is shared by a number of young people living on Shetland. Hundreds of young people's everyday lives are changing due to the effects of climate change. Bruce Adamson, the Commissioner for Children and Young People, spoke with Laura after her speech and asked if the video could be shared further. He has now shared this video with his colleagues across the United Nations and has sparked conversations at a global level. This shows how powerful words can be, and that sharing your story is the first step to creating change. This final picture is from 2019, so before my time with the council, but it's another example of how young people can spark change in their local community. On a whole, even the smallest actions you can make a big difference, and I hope this presentation is given you inspiration and motivation to do it yourself. Thank you.